Boro's colossal regeneration is striking, which raises many questions. Also, it has been officially confirmed that Boruto is Momoshiki's vessel. A lot of interesting things happened in episode 206. Enjoy watching, everyone. First, you need to clarify a few things. I, and many others, are constantly comparing Boruto anime to manga, but after watching this episode, I realized that it is pointless to look for differences between them, since, first of all, many people have not read the manga and will not. Many just want to watch anime and they do not care what happened in the manga. Also, many viewers do not even know what canon is and that most anime works are adapted by the original source in the form of manga. Therefore, let's try not to pay attention to the differences, since the anime Boruto is unique in its kind and almost everything that happened in it contradicts what was in the manga and we are shown only global events from there. Now let's talk about the series. The first thing that interested me was that it was finally confirmed that Boruto was Momoshiki's vessel. As for me, many people underestimate the horror that happens to the vessel. In Jigen's battle against Sasuke and Naruto, we saw how their enemy cried because he had no control over his body. In addition to this, it collapses. However, most likely, the tears were not due to pain but due to the fact that he hurts people without being able to control himself. But in the case of Jigen himself, the control of his body and the transfer of karma to him was very terrible. When we are shown this in the anime, I think many will be amazed at how Ishiki controls the body of his vessel, and probably this method is the most terrible that we have ever been shown in this anime. But the fact that Boruto is also a vessel is intimidating, since Momoshiki once said that the younger Uzumaki would have to pay for what he did to him, and his karma spreads more and more. And even in this episode, we see how in battle Boruto uses a seal and it absorbs more and more chakra, which is why, in the next episodes, the true form of the seal will appear. And in the future, the same thing can happen to him as to Jigen. I think many people know what I mean, and these events are officially confirmed, in the words of BORO. So we are waiting for the manifestation of karma. The second, which is no less interesting, is Mitsuki's disclosure. His body is unique, in his own words, thanks to which he is able to resist, as it turned out, the BORO's virus. And with the help of the fact that the poison does not work on him, he, apparently, was able to create an antidote that helps 7 Team and Kawaki gain immunity, because of which, Boro's technique simply becomes useless. But in his encounter with Boro, I was hoping to hear more about Orochimaru, since, in fact, the information that Mitsuki is the son of a snake should be classified, and the fact that the enemy knows about this tells us that Jigen and his henchmen were interested in the work of the serpent, and, perhaps, they even somehow crossed paths with him, and I'm really looking forward to revealing how Orochimaru is connected to this organization and how they know about Mitsuki. The third thing that interested me was the incredibly strong Boro's regeneration. In the anime Naruto, only Madara could regenerate this way when he was an Otsutsuki. Even Hashirama was not capable of such colossal regeneration. But in the anime Boruto we were shown that science has advanced to such a huge level that it is able to surpass Madara, who was the Jinchuriki of the 10 tails, combined the genes of the Uchiha and Sanju, awakened the Rinnegan, became Otsutsuki, and only after that was he able to achieve such power. However, now in Boruto, Boro is showing the same level of regeneration. We've already seen this with Deepa and Orochimaru, whose regeneration was different from that of Boro, and this seems to be due to the way in which they reached it. The serpent works with genes, and it is thanks to this that he achieved such strength. Boro uses a completely different form of immortality, and most likely, this is thanks to the ninjutsu, which does not diminish all the coolness of what is happening. Technology has made it possible to become stronger than the strongest and to regenerate at a rate that even Wolverine would envy. In addition, it became clear why there are ventilation openings on Boro's body, no matter how strange it sounds. But it is through them that he releases his virus, which he produces within himself. In fact, he is one living ninja, which again shows us how far the technology has advanced in Boruto. Now it is clear why Kawaki said that the era of shinobi is over, since we already have cyberpunk. Also, Boro confirmed what I expected. He uses his virus to win people over to his side. He infects villages, destroys their crops, which makes people very sick, and then he comes as the Messiah, preaches to them that the infinite Tsukuyomi is paradise, and gathers people who themselves want to give themselves to the divine tree. As I said, this is just brilliant, and here the question arises, who invented all this? How was the organization run by Jigen created? Most likely, the very first person to join him was Amato, but what reasons influenced the fact that he joined him? I really like how the authors are trying to make something new out of the anime Boruto. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Amato turns out to be Kawaki himself himself from the future, but this is just a silly assumption. But still, now the plot is twisted in such a way that it can be developed as you like, which makes the audience assume the most incredible. There were also a couple of, in my opinion, interesting events, one of which was the words that we are seeing a new team number 7, which means that Kawaki is now also a member, and it looks like Konohamaru will have to look after a new student. Another event is that Sarada was chosen as the leader of this team. Most likely, in the future, it should play a rather important role. At her own expense, we can say that she has a huge responsibility. She is the only descendant of the Uchiha clan, but she is not able to use her Sharingan to its full potential. Most likely, it is in this battle that she will awaken the third mark in the eyes, which will strengthen them, but so far she is not able to see as she should, thanks to which we saw the disclosure of Mitsuki. Since if she could use her Sharingan, Sarada would have noticed the virus, as Sasuke once did when fighting Deidara. He noticed that the technique of his enemy took the form of molecules and destroyed everything at the molecular level. However, with the help of the Sharingan, Uchiha was able to notice this. In fact, Sarada could do this if her eyes were fully awakened. But for now, we are watching that she needs to become stronger, since at the moment, she is in the shadow of her legendary father and no less legendary mother, whose medical techniques surpass even Sonata's strength. In the anime, we see how hard it is for Sarada to live up to what others want her to be. This development is very interesting, since certain actions are expected from her. Even we, the audience, expect something incredible from her, that she will now destroy everything in her path with one blow. And we can't even imagine what kind of effort it takes to meet what is expected of her. As I already said, the events that are associated with her in the manga and what happens in the anime do not need to be compared, since the original does not try to reveal the nature of the character or the tragedy of what is happening. In the manga, the authors try to show the epic and crumpledness of events in order to further reveal all this in the anime. Therefore, you do not need to pay attention to some changes. We are watching the story in the anime and we will be based on exactly what we saw in the episodes. The fight against BORO was very interesting. Sarada showed the Uchiha clan fire techniques. The authors explained to us how karma works. It can absorb everything that was created with the help of the chakra, but not that which exists in the real world. So, in fact, the hermit mode and shinobi's arsenal, shurikens, kunai, taijutsu, techniques that allow you to control the elements, all this is the perfect way to fight against the owners of karma. In the last episode, I was unhappy with Shikamaru's behavior, but as I expected, he is worried about the new generation because he does not want anything to happen to them. It was obvious, but I still expect more trust from Shikamaru and Kawaki and in the whole new generation, since they do everything that he did with his friends before. I am looking forward to the release of the new series. Good luck to everyone. Bye everyone.